The new Mad Max movie, Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, is already in theaters. Find out right now what the movie actually turned out to be, whether it's worth watching, and how it ties into the first Mad Max movie. Let us go. George Miller is the guy who made the ancient Mad Max movies back in the old days, when the movies weren't mainstream and you were in school. It is funny that many years later he returned to a more modern adaptation of the story and has already succeeded in this business. Because Mad Max Fury Road was warmly received by the audience, and the film turned out to be really high quality. It collected $400 million then and took home 6 Oscar statuettes in 2015. Back in 2011, while writing the script for Mad Max Fury Road, George Miller and Brendan McCarthy realized they had enough story material for 2 more films. The lead role in the future film could have gone to Charlize Theron again. Miller considered the possibility of rejuvenating her with the help of computer graphics, but ultimately abandoned the idea when he realized that the technology was still at a low level. And it wasn't worth it. Just remember how much money Scorsese spent in his film The Irishman to rejuvenate De Niro and his entire gang. In the end, Anya Taylor-Joy was cast in the lead role. It is safe to say that she looks a lot like our Furiosa from the first film. And in fact, shave any actress and smear her with dirt, and she will always be the spitting image of Furiosa. If the old film with Tom Hardy cost the company $150 million, then George Miller's new creation cost $168 million. In fact, the budget hasn't grown much. Probably everything went to the fees of Chris Hemsworth and our Anna. The plot of the new film tells the story of that same bald girl who lost her arm and took the girls of a strange white guy away in a fuel tanker car. Yes, the new film is a kind of prequel to the main events in Mad Max 2015. Furiosa is a little girl who is kidnapped, and a wild chase for her begins that lasts a lifetime. Furiosa passes from hand to hand, and here the flight of fantasy can be different. However, this universe is focused on gasoline, sand, and the idea of men who spray some incomprehensible white stuff into their teeth and strive to get to Valhalla as quickly as possible. Like Mad Max, that's what I call the first film for comparison. Furiosa is a continuous chase. True, in Mad Max there was only one for the entire film, but here it's the same story, only it consists of many small, but no less spectacular chases. Anya Taylor-Joy fits perfectly into the image of Furiosa. True, for half the film she is played by a very young girl, and in the second part of the film, by our already established Hollywood star. The fragile-looking girl destroys the guys during the chase and takes an important place in the motorcade. She is 100% suitable for this role. That is why, when you watch the film, you really believe that this is Furiosa, and you even forget about Charlize Theron in the first film. Thanks to this, the film looks like a complete story, without introductions and connections to the first film. Yes, it is true, there is a connection. It is the same universe, and at the end this film seems to end with a transition to the film that we've already seen with Tom Hardy. Chris Hemsworth was also brought into the film. Strongman, stop playing that guy from Marvel. It is time to find a new place on the pedestal in Hollywood. Here he plays a villain, the leader of a biker gang in the desert. A huge armada moves through the desert on thousands of motorcycles, and they get gasoline from God knows where. But he plays the role of an antagonist, and he copes with it with a bang. Partly Mexican, partly you even sympathize with him in your thoughts. The Mad Max movies are famous for their chases. If in the first film we saw the whole extravaganza, then here we were shown how it was born. However, it is difficult to shake off the feeling that we are watching some Fast Furious. The creators of this film also never heard about physics in lectures at the university. Because of this, some of the stunts look too unrealistic, but they are not lacking in effectiveness. The chases are done at the highest level. The film keeps the viewer in suspense throughout the entire line, and the musical accompaniment only increases the tension. In general, Furiosa, de la Saga Mad Max is a great movie for going to the cinema and an excellent prequel to the legendary Mad Max. Watch more interesting videos on my channel. Subscribe and see you soon, friends.